Hey everybody, Dan Schinder here on Yesshift, the News Desk edition, December 8th, 2022 with that
Steven
guy.
Schinder.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I'm the son, you're the dad, I think.
Yep, whoops, I accidentally muted the music and tried to turn it out there. I was a little loud. Dan Schinder, Steven Schinder,
Yeah.
dad,
And this is
son.
Yesshift.
Yeah. News Desk edition, we haven't done this. Steve, do you know that we haven't done this without looking? When do you think was the last time we did this? A news desk. Not counting the on the road episodes last month or two.
Oh, damn. Okay, because I know when the last news one we did was like at the hotel we were at. I know the exact date for that one. It was October 16th, but...
Oh, okay, and that was an official news desk one. Okay, you're right. So dumb me.
Yeah, I looked it up earlier. So.
That's funny. When I made the player for this one, I looked at the last one. It was September 6th that we actually did it from here with all our graphics and, all that kind of stuff. So here's another little factoid since we're reporting news today. Today we did episode 81 with Claire Hamill of Fragile and Steve Howe fame and many of her own stuff, of course. A great new solo album, a pocket full of love songs, and it's beautiful, nice and mushy, just like I love it with my wife. And so 81 of those, this would be 18, 19, counting the one you said. So this is number 20. So we've done 101 episodes, not counting
maybe a bit more. I'd have to look at it's like a lot of complicated stuff to take.
Well, I was going to say
account.
also not counting the ones we did from the road when you moved and from when we did the trip to San Francisco for Roger Dean and Freya Dean's exhibit. So at least 121 episodes, which is amazing. We started this July of 2021 and we're already this far in. And I think, did I say it to you or Enja? Yeah, I said it to you earlier when we were setting up for Claire's interview. I said, man, we've been cranking these out. We got to get back to that Drum Talk TV thing. Because you've just been booking and making it happen. So we've only got, for Drum Talk TV, there's 2 interviews I'm going to squeeze in before the end of the year, I believe. Danny Schuler is one of them. With Biohazard, Danny Schuler, Biohazard. He's got great Buddy Rich story. And then possibly Alvin Taylor, famous R&B drummer who's just a wonderful, sweet man. And he's done so many things. So that's probably it for the year for Drum Talk TV. And for Yesshift, what do we have, Steve?
So after this, I know that next week we were planning on doing the celebrating 50 years of when Yes Songs was filmed, but not only that, but also listening to One Live Badger, since those were performed back to back at that same venue.
Yeah.
So kind of getting that headspace of what that might have felt like.
Right.
And then
One Live Badger wasn't recorded the same night though, correct?
I'm pretty sure it was.
Oh, okay. Well, that's even better. I didn't realize that or probably forgot.
Right. I'll have to double check. But yeah, we got that. I think we have a holiday themed episode, which I might have to remind you about later. And then we have an end of the year, year in review in terms of, I guess, this show and in music in general, all the releases we've talked about. And we've also got the Roger and Freya Dean thing that
documentary.
I'm still working on it. I got more progress this week. I've actually put my Star Trek reading list on hold so that I can devote more time
cool. And
to
I think
that.
I need to send you some more music for that too.
Okay.
Yeah. But for all these things, folks, we're going to A, post about them ahead of time. And B, we want you to chime in and be part of it. And just like this episode, we're going to start off with some news headlines and the form of remembrances. So let's start with that, Steve. I'll lead it off. We'll take turns. Keith Levine, a founding member of The Clash, passed away a few weeks ago. And what's interesting about his relationship with Yes is that he worked as a roadie for Yes during the Close to the Edge tour and described Steve Howe as... Can I say it or use the asterisks?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, as the greatest fucking guitarist in the world. And in fact, that's what Claire Hamill said earlier today.
Right. Well, I don't think she used the F-bomb.
She didn't.
Yeah,
that's true. She didn't. She kept it a family show. And to me, this is a family show, anyways, because that guy's my son. So there you go.
Right, yeah. So yeah, that happened a few weeks ago, and we just haven't had a talk to, or haven't had a moment to bring that up. So
Mm-hmm.
we figure we bring that here. Another, uh, another very talented musician who passed away is guitarist Wilco Johnson. About a couple weeks back, Dylan Howe had been touring with him for a while. So, and we
Right.
talked about his stuff on the show. So
Yeah.
you know uh, he beat cancer a few years back, but now he's passed away. So at least he was able to perform a bit longer than was perhaps expected back then. But it's still like such a shame that we lost him.
Yeah, and no yes connection to this next one off the top of our heads, but of course everyone I think has heard that Fleetwood Mac singer, keyboardist, songwriter Christy McVie passed away after a short illness. Um, wow, she's so loved in not just the music industry, but by fans who aren't even hardcore fans of Fleetwood Mac. So huge, huge, immense talent. Lots of immense talent lost so far this year.
Right. And we mentioned this on our interview with Chris Walsh yesterday, but yesterday was the 6th anniversary of when Greg Lake passed. So
Yeah.
it still doesn't feel like that long ago. It's really bizarre, but
Yeah.
yeah,
And
another
then,
huge loss.
yep. And just this one really blew my way in terms of time span that it was 42 years ago today the world lost John Lennon. 42 years, because I that's one of those things where we all remember where we were when that happened. You remember where you were, right, Steve?
No.
No. Oh.
I'm not that old,
Oh,
but
but you don't
yeah,
remember from
it
another
is.
life where you were when that?
I mean, I've seen a couple like biopics and documentaries and
Yeah.
stuff like that, but
I remember where I was and to think that where I was and who I was then was 42 years ago is just blowing my mind. It was 17? 17. Yeah,
yeah,
17 years
so,
old. Ugh. Oh,
yeah,
to
it's
be 17 again. You
wild.
should have seen my hair, folks. I had great. Farrah Fawcett would have killed for my hair. It was that, but it was black. It was great. Anyways, always like to do these remembrances because these are all people that contribute to one of the most important things to our lives, and that's music. And music, it resonates with us lyrically, it resonates with us musically, it resonates with us spiritually, sometimes even
Yeah.
religiously, and it's a form of escapism for a lot of people. It's a form of purging, of
Of negativity.
yeah, catharticism. I mean, it's just being cathartic. There's so much tied to music that when we lose these people, eventually you get to a certain age. It's weird. I was thinking about this earlier today. You get to a certain age where everyone you looked up to is gone. If they're older than you, chances are you will outlive them and they're gone. So a friend of mine just turned 90 a few days ago. And when I had that thought, I thought of Mickey. Hi, Mickey, my sixth grade teacher. And I thought of, wow, everyone he admired the way you and I have growing up is gone. Grandma and grandpa, my parents. I thought about, they grew up, they were born in 1940, so they grew up in like the Happy Days era, and all the music
Yeah.
they saw evolve with Buddy Holly, Chuck Berry, Elvis, all this, and all those people were gone by the time they were like 40 or so, 40 to 50. So it's weird when I think of John Lennon being gone 42 years and what's happened in my life since then. We don't
Yeah,
have the
it's
time. So moving on.
a lot.
Yeah, we have an amazing, amazing event that we want to recap. We've got some video, but first we're going to set it up a little bit. Props to Miguel Bass for putting together possibly one of the best group fan group tributes put together online. I can't think of something else like this. There's a lot of big stars that do tributes and stuff, but this is different. And I was honored to be part of it. But Steve, why don't you kind of lay it out there, and then I'll play the video that you spliced together with some of the notable moments that we wanted to acknowledge and then there's my bullshit at the end of it.
Yeah, so each year since Chris Squire's passing, Miguel Falcao has been hosting this thing called Play for Chris, where people send in their tributes and he compiles them into a video. And since we lost Alan this year, it was titled Play for Chris 8 Alan White. So people were essentially paying tribute to the two of them. And all of the people in this, I think the video is about a half hour. The original one that he posted, and when it went live, we were really impressed. All the people who participated were great, but we're only gonna
and then there was me
5. But we're only gonna show about 5 minutes of it, which I edited down. So hopefully some of the edits aren't too abrupt. But in any case, I'm sure y'all can appreciate all the effort that went into like what these people do. And after you see these clips, we encourage you to see the full video if you haven't already, and I'll post in the comments.
And I want to just let everybody know. So Steve called me and he said, so for the Play for Chris and Alan thing, what should we show? And the first thing that came to my mind was, first of all, like Steve said, everybody was great. And then there's my bullshit at the end. But everybody was great. And what I decided, I suggested to Steven, I said, why don't we pull some clips that are of some of the most unique representations? So that's what you're going to see. And that isn't to take away from anyone else's performance, but it's Play for Chris and Alan. So it's bass and drums, but you're going to see some keyboards. You're going to see some violin. You're going to see some flute. There's some really great takes on some renditions on this stuff, some really neat things. So, and I'm going to actually pause it before my bit because I want to explain something, and I don't want people to feel like we're showing my part to like a dig me thing. There's sort of like a bit of a musical lesson, but also a fandom note from myself with that. So that's the only reason it's included. So here we go. Turn this up. Well, till we get to my part, but turn this up. It's beautiful, and thank you again, Miguel, for including me and for putting this together every year. Here we go. So beautiful. Huh, why is the video froze but we're hearing it? Wait a minute, folks. What's going on here? Okay, hold on. Let me pause it. Come right back. Pull that up. Get back to where we left off. Hold your horses. Here it comes. To be here. see what happens. That's Miguel on his 8-string. It's just so beautiful. Yeah. Okay, so hold on. Before we play my part, first of all of that was so creative and so different and so good. That the one part that for some reason didn't show through, going for the one, was being played on E-drums, and they sound great. But I love these different renditions, and the deepest cut there is Run with the Fox, which is why I wanted to feature that one. So for mine, the reason I paused it also is I wanted to sort of explain. So the other gentleman playing the bass and electronic drums did a bit of a medley. I thought I was being pretty clever by saying, hey, Steve, I think I'll do a medley. And what I didn't realize was I think there's 9 songs, I think, that I squeezed into a minute and a half or whatever. And I took these slivers of each one. What I didn't realize, this comes from the Careful What You Ask For department, musicians and music fans, is I know all those songs inside and out. I can play all those songs, but it's different when you take the little excerpt and stack them up. So I had to learn that, which was a whole different thing. So while I'm playing, when you see the front view, if you look at my hi-hat stand, there is a cheat sheet. You'll see like the back of a piece of paper on a stand. So it would look like that, because I needed that to just glance at and see what the next song was, so I would remember what am I going into, because I did this on like 2 days notice or something. And it was extremely challenging to do this, much more than any of those one songs being played all the way through. And it really, really got me thinking about their music to put this medley together, and then to play this mishmash like a song was it. I almost hurt myself a couple times. And I'm not big on doing redos, but I think I did this 12 times before I said, okay, number 9 was the best. That's what I'm using. I normally don't care, don't do that, but this meant so much to me. So I hid the part of the video. When you saw me screwing around with the size, at the bottom, there's some beautiful notes by some people. And in mine, it says something like Dan Chinder, founder of Drum Talk TV, largest media company coverage, or whatever BS. And then I forgot the list of songs. It's got the list of songs. So I hid that because the first person who writes us at Yesshift podcast at Gmail, I'll tell you what, the first 3 people that write us at yesshiftpodcast@gmail.com with the correct order of every snippet I play. As long as you're in the United States, I will let you pick out a Drum Talk TV shirt and I'll send it to you. We have like 36 designs with silly sayings. You don't even have to be a drummer for a bunch of them. So here's my tribute to Chris and my friend Alan, who, like many of you, were so inspirational to me musically and just even as a music fan. So here we go. Give me a little latitude on this, folks. See if you could. You might have to watch it a few times to make that list of songs, but send it in. You'll get a shirt. You see me looking at the list. So
I got so into it that I forgot to count how many songs you actually use, because I was like, it's definitely more than 9.
It is. I read the bottom.
I forgot to count.
Yeah, I read the bottom. So it's 15 songs, folks. So if you come up with 16 or more, you've got something extra in there. If it's not up to 15, you're missing something. So check it out. And you know what? To be fair, it's okay. Never mind. Not be fair. Fuck it.
Okay.
I'll give the first song because it was cut off in the beginning because I paused. Okay. And the first song is Cinema. And it's probably the shortest excerpt, too. It's just the beginning. Then it goes into whatever else, the other 14 songs. So put down Cinema. Watch it a few times. Not now. Not now. Wait till we're done with this news desk report. We've got more important stuff than my BS going on. But later, listen to it, watch it, write down the songs, send them into yesshiftpodcast@gmail.com. And you'll get to pick out a Drum Talk TV shirt. The first 3 people that get it right. Okay, next, Steve, What do we got?
Yeah, and I posted the full video from Miguel's channel in the comments.
Perfect, great.
Love the cuts. There's even a ramshackled song in there, so yeah.
That's right. We should have chosen that one because that's so obscure. Sorry.
But yeah, so onto along the line of tributes. We got a couple of tribute bands we're talking about. First up, Official, the Facebook page shared the tour dates or upcoming shows for Total Mass Retain. They've got one at the Barnum Ballroom in Island Park, New York on January 20th.
I don't have a graphic for that, correct?
Right.
Okay.
City Winery, Philadelphia, January 22nd. And they're also planning a spectacular Chris Squire birthday weekend with one show announced thus far.
And you're not let in unless you're late.
Right. So it lists March 5th, so the day after Chris's birthday, at Daryl's House Club in Pawling, New York.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, if anyone's in those areas, like, go ahead and check them out. Okay, so next one we've got is Awaken, and they're gonna be streaming one of their concerts onto the internet. I think it's from over the summer. I'm just going to the event page, which I'll share in the comments again to read the info that they have.
And then we have a teaser to play for you folks too.
Yeah, we have like a 5 or 6 minute teaser.
Yeah, these guys are great. It's worth sitting through. These guys are really good. I wish I could be in a band like that. I live way up in the mountains, small town. It's not like I can find a Yes band to be in.
Right. So this concert stream will be benefiting the St. Jude Children's Hospital,
which is awesome.
Yeah, and according to the details here, there's also a giveaway. So they say we will be giving away a beautiful limited edition 1990 plate of the Relayer artwork signed by John Anderson.
That's cool.
And so to win, in order to enter, you need to, number one, share the link in the description above. It must be public so we can see. Yeah,
or
so
it says there's an alternate way to win it. You send $1,000 to Dan Schinder at 660 East Ash. Oh.
All right. Number two, follow us on Facebook. And number three, purchase a ticket for our streaming concert to benefit St. Jude Children's Hospital. So I'll put this event link in the comments so people can see.
Let's show their teaser. They're really good. I'm serious. Yeah. I'd love to be in a band like this. You know, this music has meant so much to me. It's a huge chunk of what I just love to play when I just play. So here we go. Is it cool to show that now, or you got more info on that?
Yeah, you can go ahead. I'll just share the links and whatnot.
Okay, cool. Check this out, folks. Check this out, folks. There we go.
Systems of change, there we are, escaping to systems of change. Get to freedom, I need to be there. Waiting and watching, the tables are turning. I'm waiting and watching, I need to be there. Good to see them walk away.
Is this an original? I don't know if I know this song. It's so good. Props to the drummer, first of all. I'm sorry. I'm having a senior moment. What is his name?
Greg.
Greg. Props to Greg, not only for playing so well, but for doing it on an electronic kit and making it work. It's awesome. I love the reverb spring tube from Gates of Delirium. There's some neat, deep cuts in there. Great players, all to benefit St. Jude. Check out the link Steve put in the comments. Very
can go to
thing.
They're advertising this. They're advertising the heck out of this. Facebook.com/Awaken the band. And again, performing Close to the Edge and Relayer in their entirety. All proceeds going to St. Jude's Hospital for Children. And this will be broadcast Friday, December 16th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I just got my ticket to the stream from stageit.com. They shared that link on their page. And
you did that like just now?
Yeah.
So you weren't paying attention to the video?
I saw it earlier. I edited it.
I know. Oh, yeah.
We'll put the things together at least.
I'm going to get this too.
It's $15. So, yeah, I'm really excited to watch
this.
So,
is it going to get archived for those who buy a ticket to watch again or another time if they miss the live? I'm going to buy a ticket just because it benefits them and St. Jude, but I'm just curious.
I mean, on StageIt, I haven't seen
if they archive.
I don't think they archive on StageIt, but I mean, it'll still be worth watching.
And give everyone the date and time again.
December 16th. That's Friday of next week at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
So 7 my time. I'm putting it down. I'm buying a ticket.
Right. All right. So we've got like a bunch of other things we need to like zoom through like really quickly.
I know. That made me just want to play in a Yes band even more.
Yeah.
Anyway, take it away. Where do you want to go from here?
Okay,
I guess
so
we're going to Cruise to the Edge. I got to talk to you about this.
Yeah, Cruise to the Edge Awakening 2024. So they recently announced the dates and the lineup so far. So they'll be sailing out of Miami they'll be sailing out of Miami, Florida from March 8th through 13th, 2024. So not this coming year, but the year after. On the Norwegian Pearl, and visit 2 Caribbean gems, Georgetown, Grand Cayman, and Ocho Rios, Jamaica. And so we have the lineup so far. So they've listed Marillion, Steve Hackett, Flying Colors, Big Train, Adrian Belew, The Flower Kings, Martin Barr, PFM, Symphony X, Queensryche, Haken, Lonely Robot, Protocol, Wishbone Ash, Griffin, Airbag, Clone, Barocca, and Claudio Simonette's Goblin. And they also add more to come. So I guess
I've never heard of them. You know, I want to ask everyone watching and listening, chime in the comments. Who would you look forward to the most if you were to go on that cruise? And Steve, I'll pose that question to you.
Well, out of the ones listed, or just okay? So
out of more to come.
Well, out of the ones listed, it's probably Steve Hackett for me.
I think this is tough. Okay, huge Steve Hackett fan. We had him on the show. Huge Steve Hackett fan. Definitely way up there. But I gotta say, Adrian Belew is a musical genius. I'd love to see Adrian. Martin Barr, part of my favorite classic lineup of Jethro Tull, with Martin Barr on guitar, David Palmer, now D. Palmer, that's another story, David Palmer and John Evan both on keyboards, Barrymore Barlow on drums, and John Glasscock or Dave Pegg on bass. Favorite lineup, I would love to see Martin Barr. I hear he tells some interesting Jethro Tull stories too. And you know what? I got to give it up for my boys in Haken. Love that band. Ray Hearn, amazing drummer. Sounds like he's playing a giant kit like mine. It's like a 5 or 6 piece kit, and there's so much great talent here. I've never heard of Airbag. That's such a great name. Have you heard of Airbag? Gotta look them up.
No, I haven't, but I feel like if I were to go to one of these, I'd probably get turned on to like some new acts to listen to and get interested.
You got Queensryche. This is just really cool. Marillion. I mean, Big Train.
But again,
Steve Hackett is like got to be the headline there, right? I think, sort of, maybe,
but again, I know they say more to come, but it's still kind of odd that one of the first things they don't announce is Yes.
That's right.
Like they weren't on the last cruise for some reason, and I'm wondering if maybe that'll happen again, or if they're still working out details and maybe they will be able to make it in some capacity.
Yeah, I would really love for them to be part of it. So this is good. You know what?
What?
Maybe we'll go.
Oh, I'd love to if we can
I
figure
would
that
too.
out.
Now, you might have to invite someone so that there's 4 of us, because number one, Enja and I, my wife Enja, have never been on a cruise together. I'd love to take her, but this goes to the Caribbean. My wife's family is from St. Kitts. So this would be like the closest we get to there, unless we go to St. Kitts before then. But, I don't mind that there's just 3 of us, but she's got to go. But I would love to go. We got to talk about this. I didn't know about this until I read the notes and saw the images you sent me. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Where's it going? Whoa, Miami, Jamaica, Grand Cayman. Let's go.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Cool.
All right. So,
Next.
So moving on, one of the things, and I don't know if you've taken the graphic off the screen, but one of the things that's been making the rounds recently is a fan-made documentary on the Yes album Drama. And this is by Rael NYC, who also put out a Tales from Topographic Oceans documentary a few months ago. These are interesting. This person provides some interesting, quotes from interviews, but also his own opinions, and also excerpts for this one from the Paris sessions, which you hadn't heard in a really long time. And
there were a couple things I don't think I've ever heard when I started watching it. I'm like maybe halfway into that one. There were some things I don't remember ever hearing that I think he unearthed. But Rail NYC is a pseudonym. Do you know what the reference is?
I think you're going to tell me.
I am definitely going to tell you, but do you know what it is?
No, I don't.
Where else have you maybe heard or read the name Rail?
Railroad?
It's R-A-E. It's the main character in the entire Lamb Lies Down on Broadway epic. Rail.
Okay.
The Puerto Rican guy who,
Yeah,
I
knew I was going to be embarrassed once I heard the answer.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, it's not totally in your wheelhouse like a lot of this other stuff is. So great job on what I've seen so far. And as you mentioned, he's also got one on Tales from Topographic Oceans and some others, correct?
I think it's just Tales and Drama so far. But I think he's done maybe one or a couple other related
but other bands. I think he's done Genesis and something. I thought I read that somewhere.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think in the description of one of them.
Yeah, I'd have to look again.
Puppy here. Cool. So good job on that so far from what I've seen. Really good job. That's pretty bold, I think, for a fan to go out and do something like that. How could I say this? Where they're counting on the fact that what they're reporting is, in fact, documentary worthy and correct and on point. Right. I mean, you really got to do your homework, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's a good gateway for people not familiar with Yes and trying to piece together the history in a bite-sized way.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
Yeah, but speaking of fan efforts, Kevin Mulrine from Yes Music Podcast, and we've mentioned this before, but he's putting out a Tormato book that he put together. And we now know that the foreword for this is written by none other than Oliver Wakeman.
And I love that because Oliver said this is probably one of his favorite Yes albums, which I think bends a lot of people's minds in a direction they don't want to go. And I love that.
Yeah. So on the cover, it says, Yes, the Tormato story. And you can pre-order this at tormatobook.com. You can see all the details about the formats and whatnot. And I think last I heard this would be coming out in January, but subject to change. So I guess maybe it's like early 2023. But
cool. I want to get this. This is great.
Yeah, this will be fun to read. Maybe we can have Kevin on the show and like talk with him about
Absolutely. it. Yeah. Cool. Good job, Kev.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of books, we each received our copies of the Trevor Horn autobiography. So I got mine here.
Now,
Adventures of Modern Recording from ABC to ZTT, or ZTT if you're in England, I guess.
Right. I've just started it, and I have a question for you that I haven't asked you about.
Right there.
Oh, wait a minute. Where's your autograph?
Right here.
On the back? Oh, no, that's inside.
It's in the front.
Okay, so I have a question about the autograph. And folks, if you have one, I'd love your input. So I'm going to hold mine close to the camera because mine has... Let's get my finger in there. Where's my... Okay. Mine has like a smudge right there.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's part of what's printed or if that actually is a smudge that happened in his handling of the sticker. Do you have that?
No, I don't have a smudge on mine.
Interesting. Okay, so it's not part of the print. For a moment, honestly, like, not that I would think anyone would, but I just thought, well, I wonder if that's to just make it look more real or something. And I didn't get anything on it. Like, I practically wear rubber gloves half the time I handle stuff like this. I really take care of my stuff. But I bet I'm ahead of you. What page are you on?
Oh, I've even started reading. Yeah, I've been more focused on the Roger Dean.
Oh, that's hilarious because that was going to be a joke. I thought you'd be on like page 104. I'm on page 8.
Right, yeah, but I'm really excited to get into this. And
the foreword alone is gripping. The foreword alone totally sets the pace of the whole book, and it's what the book was written up to that point. So it starts with the end sort of and paints a picture. Okay. It's great. It really is. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know there's an audiobook read by him, but it's only available in Audible UK for some reason. So
wow.
At some point I would love to listen to that because it's him reading it.
I love audiobooks written by the author.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we're planning on reviewing this sometime in the new year, maybe January or February. We'll have to like look at the ideas that we have. But yeah, folks, if you don't have this already, go ahead and
get
it so you'll be on the same page with us.
There's
some
great. Hold on, because you know me, even with a cookbook, I flip through it first and look at pictures. There's all kinds of great, there we go, pictures, and you know, it's very well. His own story. My point is that that's right. It's very well documented with a lot of nice photos through the ages and the story of his life, and it's very well done. And you know, one of the most amazing things is that this is not his whole story.
He framed it up to a certain point for reasons that I remember the book goes into from what I heard. But
I had forgotten that he lost his wife. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, it's tragic.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the man who invented the 80s.
Yeah.
The man who think about that. The man, what kind of like. To be credited with, like Chris Welch yesterday is credited for coming up with the term progressive rock.
Yeah.
That's like so much woven into the vernacular of this century of music. It's right. Isn't that crazy? The man who invented the 80s. He's right there. Trevor Horn, he played it. Yes.
Yeah. And Trevor Horn's been up to a bunch of stuff recently. He had a book signing at the beginning of November. And he posted a picture of his appearance on the show this morning, where it seems he talked about the book.
That's this first one here.
Yeah, and on November 16th, he made a post where he said, "In the studio with Bruce Woolley, co-writer of Video Killed the Radio Star alongside Jeff Downs, and Haley Sanderson this week working on something exciting.
There's
Keep
Haley
your
there.
eyes and ears peeled."
Yeah.
So
Bruce.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then
He looks great too. He looks really good.
Yeah, and a couple days later, he said, "Always a good day with Rick Astley in the studio. Another project on the way, something for the new year, maybe." So yeah, I'm glad Trevor is still keeping busy with all this stuff.
He is still very relevant and looks wonderful. Good for him.
Yeah, and on to Bill Bruford. They've been regularly posting videos on his YouTube channel, like basically every Friday. You got some Earthworks stuff. There's also Bruford Borslap, something called Arabian Quest, and Bill Bruford Yontique, from something called Kazumi Watanabe, The Spice of Life, 1987.
And I'm showing a picture, by the way, of Alan White in the middle of Bill Bruford and Bill Ludwig Jr.
Oh, yeah, that was from a post where on Bill Bruford's Facebook page where it said Bill placed at number 17 in a recent poll of the top 200 living jazz drummers. And this is on All About Jazz. I'll post a link to that article in the comments. So, yeah, it's very... it's probably like really... was kind of surprising to some who don't know that much about the jazz side of his career to see him on that type of list. And
yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so and it's a great picture. I love that it's him, it's Alan, and Bill Ludwig. And there's also, I believe, a re-release coming up in February 10th of Bill Bruford Video Anthology Volume 2, 1990s, and this is a 2 CD DVD.
Getting
release.
that for sure.
Yeah, I love the cover of that.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
Yeah. I wonder if that was computer generated or a real sculpture.
Huh.
It's hard to tell, but it's awesome. It's great.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so moving from Bill Bruford, there's an Anderson Bruford Wakeman Howe deluxe box set. However, this is from Music Glue, and this is the same company that put out the Union 30 box set about a year and a half ago, and there was like a whole kerfuffle with like the way it was packaged and marketed. I think certain things were like mislabeled or misadvertised.
They
or
listed
something.
Francis Monkman as one of the keyboard players.
Oh God. And I think that Music Glue was also planning on releasing a QPR re-release, but that got canceled for reasons I'm not really sure about. But yeah, this box set, it includes an evening of Yes Music Plus, that DVD, and the Big Dream documentary on the second DVD.
Mm-hmm.
Also includes an evening of Yes Music Plus as a 2 CD set, and CD3, the original broadcast.
See what
CD4,
it's got that family
King
tree
Biscuit
thing
radio
too.
broadcast.
Yeah, sorry, it's got that family tree graphic.
Yeah, and CD5 radio interviews.
There's some great stuff there, yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like there's a 28-page tour program. And a 32-page one from the Japanese tour program. Roger Dean artwork, and yeah, there's some interesting sounding stuff. But again, like because of like past stuff that happened with Music Glue with the other stuff, I'm sure people will be like kind of cautious about this.
Yeah.
All right, so on to John Anderson. On November 12th, there was a post in a Facebook group, a Seinfeld Facebook group, where it was apparently a picture of John Anderson with Jerry Seinfeld, like at one of his stand-up shows in Santa Barbara. And so some of us were wondering like if this is real, and someone like was kind of doubtful because of like the hair, but I looked on Jerry Seinfeld's Instagram.
It's real.
He's had like short hair for a while, but this year I looked on his Instagram and his hair has grown a bit more. So this does feel authentic to me, but
this is real. This is not Photoshop. This is real.
I'm pretty sure it's real, but
I'm
it's just
positive. I could tell by the photo, the shadows, the texture on the wall, around the hair, the lighting. I can tell. I work with Photoshop all the time. I can tell this is real.
Yeah, but it's just funny to think about. Like when I saw this photo, I thought the George Costanza quote, "Worlds are colliding," because like I would never like think Seinfeld and a Yes member like unless maybe it's Billy Sherwood because we know he's into Seinfeld, but.
Right.
Yeah, this was just kind of out of left field.
I was in the water. Oh, that's a different reference.
Yeah, I was in the pool.
I was in the pool.
Yeah, and staying on John Anderson, producer Michael Franklin posted back at work on 1000 Hands Chapter 2, hoping for a release early in the new year. A few notes from Joe Bonamassa, Bruce Hornsby, Abe Laboriel Jr.,
wow.
Rick Wakeman, Trevor Rabin, Ian Anderson, and others. Piles of new songs trying to figure out what's the right ingredients for the stew.
Wow.
So, yeah.
What a lineup.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear whether the Rick and Trevor stuff might be archival stuff or if it's like all new stuff contributed to like some new material.
Not only that, 5 words for that lineup. Take it on the road.
Yeah.
Can we see that live, please? Ian Anderson with Rick Wakeman and Trevor Rabin and John Anderson. And then you got Bruce Hornsby over there on the other keyboard. What a lineup. Amazing. Abe Laboriel Jr. on drums. This is a stellar, stellar lineup. I want to pre-order now. Where's the pre-order link? Put it in the comments.
Yeah. When it comes out, I'll post on our page.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. I see that Awaken Yes Tribute is watching. Hey guys, we showed the video earlier in the show, so yeah, also include the links in the comments. And great job with all the stuff you do.
Absolutely. Let me sit in. Let me come to a gig. I need a live Yes performance fix. Just one song, a little one, like The Revealing Science of God, or Close to the Whatever, or The Gates of Somewhere, or whatever.
Yeah, or I've Seen All Good People.
Hello. Okay, thanks for watching. We will be back.
All right, so now to blaze through all this Rick Wakeman news. Forgotten Yesterdays posted that there's Wakeman coverage in the January 2023 issue of Mojo magazine. There's also a Daily Mail article about Rick Wakeman and traveling. He talked a bit about Buenos Aires. I'll just post that in the comments. And there's also a bit of news from his website. So on November 21st, he pre-recorded a Christmas show with Simon Mayo, but said he wasn't sure when it'd be broadcast. So I guess we'll keep an eye out for that if it hasn't been posted already. And he also said, please note one performance not included in the tour dates is that of 15th of December, where I am honored to be taking part in Sir Tim Rice's Christmas Foundation of Light concert at Durham Cathedral. That sounds very exciting.
Wow.
And his new album, A Gallery of Imagination, apparently it's available on his Christmas tour, but it's also available to pre-order in various formats. And depending on the format, shipping date will be either before Christmas or February 2023. I'm just posting the link to that.
What a gap.
Yeah. We'll have to see if we can talk to him about that album.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the new year. Yeah.
The cover is somewhat reminiscent of pictures at an exhibition by Emerson Lake Palmer.
Yeah, that's very fitting, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there are lots of formats. There's like Digipack, CD, DVD. There's like a signed version. There's black vinyl, colored vinyl, signed vinyl, a super deluxe box set. I'm sure that's really expensive. So
yeah, I was going to ask if there's something that comes with everything. Is it that last one you mentioned?
Yeah,
that's
basically
cool. I like that.
Yeah, and Rick also made a guest appearance on Jazz Sabbath's November 26th show.
Oh, really?
I
wish you had video of that.
Yeah, well, there's a video on a YouTube channel. It might be one of the performers' YouTube channels, but I'll post that in the comments as well real quick.
Oh, I got a visitor. Hi, baby.
Yeah, and apparently one of Jazz Sabbath's concerts was streamed a couple weeks ago, maybe November 20th, but it seems like it's no longer available. Yeah, I wasn't able to catch it because I've been so busy. But
Darn.
also, Rick's son Oliver caught up with him for his Christmas concert
Oh, yeah.
at Cheltenham Town Hall 2 nights ago, as of when we're recording.
What's Adam up to these days? We hear so much about Oliver. What's Adam doing?
Jazz Sabbath.
Oh, just kidding. I, for a second, thought that was Oliver. Never mind. You're not supposed to say that he's the guy. It's a pseudonym.
Right.
I think you meant he's attended the Jazz Sabbath concert.
Sure,
watching
yeah.
the guy. What's his name?
Yeah. So on to Oliver Wakeman news. On November 19th, he posted, had a very enjoyable evening working on a guitar solo for the new album. And on Kara, it's due early to mid 2023.
That'll be great.
Yeah, he continues, I don't often play guitar solos, but I'm particularly happy with this one. Managed to squeeze in a keyboard solo too. And on the 24th, singer, songwriter, guitarist Carrie Martin posted, absolutely thrilled that my track End of Story came back yesterday with the addition of genius Oliver Wakeman, who has added beautiful strings and dramatic piano part. This track was written for amazing author Louise Beach's new gripping novel End of Story, recently signed by book giants Hodder. Oliver guests on 2 of my tracks, End of Story and my 8-minute accidental prog piece, Keep in the Light, which also features another surprise guest. Watch out for Lou's book next April, followed shortly after by my new album.
Oh, I wonder who that is.
Yeah, so I'm not very familiar, but yeah, so Oliver is pretty busy. It's great to hear.
Cool.
And Downs Braid Association's next album, Celestial Songs, has apparently been delayed. Friend of the show and fellow Yes fan in the Yes community, Doug Curran, said a couple weeks ago that it will be released in March, and it got pushed back a few months from the original plan due to delays getting vinyl produced. So, yeah, I think this might be like the second time it got delayed, if I'm not mistaken. But
so I wonder if there's a shortage on the materials, if it's that simple.
Yeah, maybe. And then on to Asia. So we'll talk about So what's also been said is that the tour may have been delayed from the previously intended February through March dates, which would have been like celebrating 40 years of Alpha and 41 years of the first album. And it might have to do with Alan Parsons and how he's doing. And so it's kind of up in the air whether they'll still wait for him or maybe go with someone else. But I guess we'll have to wait until we get like an official
And that's
word
the
on
tie-in
the
is because Alan Parsons was going to be the other performing act, correct?
Yeah.
It was a
they
tour
were gonna,
together.
Yeah, both bands were going to tour together, yeah. And yeah, so I guess we'll wait until we get official word before we can like sort of talk more on that, speculate a bit more about that, I guess.
Yeah.
For Black Friday, which was also Record Store Day, Asia posted about a 10-inch single release featuring Heat of the Moment and Only Time Will Tell from Fantasia Live in Tokyo 2007. That's what got me into Asia, actually. Yeah,
really?
I remember you got me that DVD like 15 and a half years ago or something.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, wow. Or maybe it was like 14 and a half or something. I don't know, whenever.
Yeah, where does time go?
Yeah, that got me really into Asia and like was the beginning of me broadening my horizons outside of Yes.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah. And then over on Amazon, Asia in Asia, Live at the Budokan Tokyo 1983 Deluxe is 60% off. So for us, so for us US folk, the list price was $139.98, but right now it's $56.18.
Drop the link in there. I'm getting it. Please.
Yeah, it's LP double vinyl box set. So yeah, I think this might finally be the time that I pull the trigger. I'll have to like.
Yeah, is it only vinyl? No, it's of course the DVD too, right?
Let me double check.
Visual. I want visual. I want to watch it.
Yeah, I'll have to look at. I'm like doing Control F, and it's kind of tough to. Hang on. see, disc 1, introduction from Mark Goodman, MTV. Okay, it has the MTV satellite telecast. Okay, so I'm pretty sure there's video on this.
Okay.
But yeah, I dropped the link so that people can see.
Okay, cool. We'll check
themselves.
it out. Great.
Yeah. And John Davison. So we all know he's been touring with John Lodge. So John Lodge recently announced February through March US tour. And John Davison is expected to perform on the songs Nights in White Satin and Tuesday Afternoon.
Is he a son-in-law yet?
I haven't heard about a wedding yet.
I haven't either.
Right, but the tour will feature the Moody Blues album Days of Future Past in its entirety, plus a selection of hits. Well, lots of classic bands are sort of doing that these days.
And I'm sorry, I have to ask a question that, for those who know the answer, possibly including you'll be like, come on, man, keep up with it. Well, I'm going to ask anyway. Is Patrick Moraz still with them?
Sorry, is Patrick Moraz still with the Moody Blues?
Yeah.
That's what you're asking?
Yeah.
No, I think there was like a court battle like at the end of his tenure. So, yeah.
Never mind. Because I was curious if he'd ever make an appearance to something with John, but okay, never mind.
Right.
Anyway.
But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I saw that there's like some Yes ornaments in the Yes World store. I'm kind of afraid that I would break them if I got them, but maybe some people would take like good care of them.
Why you don't break stuff? Do you?
Okay, so yeah, that's all the news that we have for tonight. And wow, just an hour. I'm surprised we got that all in.
Yeah, we did. Our next show is, don't tell me, hold on. The 15th at 5 p.m.
Yeah,
where
and
we
that's
talk about.
Is that Arizona time? Or?
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's Mountain Standard Time. So it's 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. MST, 6 p.m. CST, 7 p.m. EST, and late at night UK time.
Yeah, I think it's like midnight UK time.
And what are we doing
Night
that
Owls.
day?
We're talking about One Life Badger and the Yes songs.
And Yes songs. Yeah. Okay, so I gotta put this out there. For you younger or newer Yes fans, if you've not seen Yes songs, please watch it before this episode and chime in. It's one of the two most seminal early rock concert films. That and The Song Remains the Same. And where I grew up, in the West San Fernando Valley, there was a movie theater called the Baronet Theater. And the Baronet Theater played mostly rock concert stuff. And I saw Yes songs and The Song Remains the Same together many times, even once with my mother. I saw Pompeii there. I saw an Alice Cooper movie there. I saw Joe Cocker, Mad Dogs and Englishmen there. You dip into this time capsule gem of Yes when they were youngsters in their 20s. Ellen joined a few days before, and it's amazing. You've got to check it out.
Well, he joined a few months before the concert.
Oh, before the concert. Yes, I'm sorry. He joined a few months before the concert, but when he joined 2 weeks before they went on tour. And this is that December of the tour, correct? 72? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. And now I even learned how valuable is Yesshift. I even learned today that One Live Badger was recorded at the same show. And for those of you who don't know, One Live Badger is Mr. TK, Tony K.
Yeah. So, yeah. And
that'll
again,
be fun. I got to watch it. Well, you know what? We got to watch it together online or on the phone while we're watching it on TV, or, we got to watch it together. So folks, we normally don't talk about episodes and stuff a lot, but that'd be fun to watch together and then do the show. Cause it'll bring back memories for me. And I remember the pants that Steve Howe had with the stars and the moon, and the button that John Anderson had with his son on it. And in between, right before he plays the clap, you hear him say, "Daddy." You hear either Damien or Dylan say, it's a great, great video. Great film. I'm excited to get to that. Can we do that tomorrow? Can we take a break and do it in an hour? Or?
Yeah, we'll talk about it after this. I have a possible day in mind, but yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay. All right.
So
thanks for joining us, folks.
Yeah, you can follow us at facebook.com/Yesshift, or we go live. And then we archive the video at youtube.com/@Yesshift. Go to anchor.fm/Yesshift to see where we post the audio on various podcasting platforms, and leave a donation if you'd like. And you can also email us at yesshiftpodcast@gmail.com. And yeah, thanks for following us and everything we do. We actually reached 1,000 followers on the Facebook page
I didn't know that.
Weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it was right before the Open Your Eyes episode, and I just forgot to mention it. We've been busy since then.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody, so much for following what we do. We will see you soon. Over and out.